Greetings, fellow RotoBallers. Now, look, this week just plain sucks. So let's fight our way through it with the RotoBaller rankings to see the biggest risers and fallers in Week 14. Dave, we start at quarterback. It's Jalen Hurts. It's his world. We all just live in it right now, taking over the coveted number one spot where Josh Allen is right behind him, Mahomes. This all checks out. But then, Dave, is a Lions quarterback in our top 7, or did I just take some Aaron Rodgers ayahuasca? I think I did.
I think it's a little of both, Joey. It must be by Mageddon. But speaking of Aaron Rodgers, we're not even going to rank him this week, folks, after what he did to our Bears. Okay? So there. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about him, and I'm not even going to watch him play this weekend. That's a promise. So our biggest faller is going to be Kyler Murray. Coming off a bye week, we don't care. He's got a tall order taking on the 49ers. He's our QB 11 this week, with Trevor Lawrence rounding out the top 12 as QB 12. Now at tight end, let me look at my notes. It just says, good fucking luck, people, okay? It's a freaking disaster out there. I give up on anybody not named Travis Kelce. I mean, Pat Freiermuth is our tight end 3 this week. That's where
The
we're at.
move.
Yes. Kittle, though, falling to tight end 6 behind Greg Dulcich. Joey, I want off this roller coaster.
Yeah, no problem. Tick, tick, tick. Sorry, we're already going. We're already on the tight end roller coaster. Get rid of him out of fantasy football. I don't blame you, Dave, for a second. Look, man, I'm starting Foster Moreau this weekend, and I definitely did not buy enough beer for this weekend. So that's all you need to know about tight ends. Let's move on to wide receivers, shall we? The big 3, obviously, Jefferson, Hill, Adams, studs. But then where you find Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown can't be far behind. He's made it all the way up to our wide receiver 5 in week 14.
Well, I think, Joey, this year's Amon-Ra St. Brown is actually named Garrett Wilson, and he is peering into our top 12 as wide receiver 13. I predict he's going to crack that by year's end. Mark my words. Only 4 games to do that. He's just behind DK Metcalf, wide receiver 11, and Jalen Waddle, Joey, wide receiver 12.
You know what I think happened to Jalen Waddle last week, Dave?
Please tell me.
I think Boban Marjanovic suddenly there was some sort of optical illusion, and that's who Tua thought he was going with all those overthrows last week to Jalen Waddle, because it drove me nuts. And this week, Dave, I'm calling it. He throws them a little bit lower. Let's move on to running backs, Dave. Josh Jacobs, look, he's balling out each and every single week. He's cemented as an RB2 this week.
Yeah, and we have 2 first-timers, Joey, in our top 12. Tony Pollard, RB7. And now I just want to say, thank the gods that Cowboys let Zeke go and they saved all that money because they realized they have a superior running back. And oh, wait, do they still have Zeke?
It's still him.
That's just silly, Joey. But turns out Zeke is that other back that snuck into our top 12. He's actually RB12 on the week. Check the date. Zeke is a top 12 running back again. Yeah.
And also, don't sleep on Miles Sanders. He's also on a roll this week. We say he stays in the top 10 as an RB10. Now, Dave, it is time. We must hit the people with a 60-second recap. So take a deep breath, and here we go. Here are our biggest risers and fallers among the RotoBaller rankings for Week 14. Jalen Hurts, he takes the top spot away from Mahomes and Allen, with Kyler Murray dipping down to QB 11 and Trevor Lawrence rounding out our top 12.
And at tight end, chances are your fantasy lives are in shambles if you don't have Travis Kelce. But Pat Freiermuth moves up the charts at tight end 6, while George Kittle falls way behind Greg Dulcich. He's our tight end 6.
And at wide receiver, you got your usual studs up front, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, he rises up to wide receiver 5 this week against the Vikings. And our wide receivers 11 through 13 round out the wide receiver options in week 14 with DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle falling to wide receiver 12, and Garrett Wilson up to wide receiver 13.
And at running backs, Josh Jacobs is going to get paid this offseason, so why not make him our RB2 this week? And it's double Cowboys trouble, rounding out the top 12. Fantasy star Tony Pollard, RB7, and Zeke Elliott is in the hot tub time machine as RB12. Now go like, subscribe, and win that final week.